breakfast. But we're back, and I think I can talk now. So, welcome to Mad Dog's Adventures in 40K. Uh, Let me just start out by saying I've been telling you guys about how cool 3D printers are and all of the neat things you can do with 3D printers. The problem is, it's a rabbit hole that once you start down it, it will alter it will alter your existence. Because there's all sorts of stuff to model, whether you do aircraft, cars, ships, or Warhammer figures, particularly Warhammer figures. Oh my goodness, and other figures, all sorts of other stuff. And I'm one of those people. If you remember, what was it, the movie Up, and you've got Doug the dog, who can keep attention on things for a second. As soon as there's a squirrel, squirrel. And that's me. I get distracted real easy by things that I find to 3D print. Think, oh, I could use that, or I'd like that. So, yeah, I have been doing a lot of 3D printing, and I've been doing some painting, but I haven't completed a whole lot recently. So, let's show you what we've been doing recently, and maybe you can understand what I'm going through here. Okay, so first I wanted to show you was this Calgar figure that I 3D printed, and it's pretty simple. I mean, it comes as a nice block. I do need to paint the chain still, obviously, and his hair, and edge highlight and all that stuff, some of the details. But this is a 3D print, as well as the base here. The base was done. How was the base done? It was a 3D printed, I want to say 40 millimeter base of some stones, which I thought would be perfect for this. And then I decided to go ahead and put it on this Aquila statue base that I have for one of the early statues that I made. I've printed several more, so it didn't really matter. I went ahead and painted it with an old Testers Model Master, their metallic series, and I can't remember what it's called right now, but I can't even remember the color. It's not jet exhaust, but something similar to that. Anyway, just thought, yeah, that'll look pretty good. Now I've got, looks like I got a hair in there that I got to pull out, but anywho, went ahead and put a magnet in it and finished off the base. But like I say, I've got to finish him. So the other thing is, I finished these. So I was working on those a while back, but I did want to show you something kind of neat here. So I'm going to kill these lights. Oops, going to kill those lights. And I'm going to turn this on. And yeah, I've got a UV light for in here. And you can see how these fluorescent worked out. You can also see on this cape here, I used a new glowing paint, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. Now, cool thing about it is you charge it up with the UV light, turn it off, and it still glows for a bit. Pretty neat. And I put some of that on here as well. The paint is called, well, that's it right there. Now, this is the, which is really cool, all the stuff that they got inside this little pamphlet that's in here. And this is that kind of a bluish green, I can't remember what it's supposed to be. I think it's the blue. But they also have a red glow and I think a yellow glow as well. But pretty neat. Tried this out. It's very similar to that glow-in-the-dark paint that Testers, or not Testers, that Revell put out years back. And actually I used on one of my pirate ships. It looks very similar going on and acts very similar. So one other print that I wanted to show you guys. It's not, again, haven't finished painting it. It's called the Babysitter. So we have our Space Marine here. Came with a captain's helmet, but I decided not to go with that. And this cute little girl, he's walking her through the wasteland, holding her teddy bear. I decided to go with a salamander because, well, they're, of course, yeah, more sympathetic towards humans. His backpack is here somewhere. Like I say, I've taken it off to paint it. And I decided to go with a hooded head on him, and I have not finished his face yet. So, yeah, I still have some painting to do. But these bases are very similar, so they came in the same set of these. Now, this, I think I printed at 100% on those. But these I had to reduce a bit to get them down to the size that, that I wanted. And I want to say they're 70 millimeter at this point. And I decided to go ahead and do kind of a red earth look to it, to go to contrast the salamander. And you can see I did the brick, and I've got to finish painting the pussy willows, but some very aquatic blue looking water that of course glows. So there's that print that I've done recently. And then I made another base. Not sure what I'm going to use it for yet, 70 millimeter. But it has that glowing effect as well on the water. I'm sure I'll find something to put it on. Okay, so what I really wanted to show you guys, and I think I had mentioned about this character here before, and if I didn't, I'm sorry. We'll cover him again. But this one, I decided not to do the transitioning cloak on him, just all of the really cool writing on his power cloak. And I'll take him off here. So I put him on with magnets, and again, he's not finished. How about that? Imagine that. But I put magnets on him because I want to be able to put him in the tower, the dice tower that I made. Now, the base is pretty much finished. I still have to put something wet looking there. Gosh. But I put magnets down in the base so that he can just snap right in there. But when I want to use him up on the dice tower, I can just take him off. So yeah, pretty interesting way of doing it. I thought we'll just experiment with that. But I wanted to show you guys, what I really wanted to show you guys today was this. So I decided to start on a kill team of Imperial Fists, and of course have to paint the yellow armor. There's several different ways to paint yellow armor, and I wanted to kind of just show you guys a couple of the ways that I was doing things. I'm going to wind up doing an Imperial Fist kill team, also a Lamenters kill team. So I'm starting out with the gray, the gray plastic or resin. And what I'm priming with is the Tamiya surface primer and some Tamiya lacquer thinner. And I load that up in my airbrush, wherever my airbrush got off to. Where the heck is my airbrush? Come on, guys. I can find out what I've done with my airbrush. Oh, that's right here. Okay. So, load it up in my cordless airbrush here. And spray it on with a hair. I mean, when you got all these dogs, that's all I have around here is hair. It gets into everything. So I just prime him like that. And then there's a couple of different choices, so I'll kind of go over that real quick. This character here was primed, and then he was shot with, get it out here, maybe. he was sprayed with a base of Avalon Sunset. Okay, he was, and he was shot with Avalon Sunset. Now, that's one way to do it, and I could leave it at that. I'm not particularly thrilled with that color. So one thing I did try is that I tried a layer. And for this layer, I put down some Bad Moon Yellow, which is a nice bright yellow, over that, and sprayed it on here. And so you can see I've got this nice bright yellow. I thought, well, okay. And now what I used to thin my, and I didn't have to do the contrast paint much in the way of thinner. But when it comes to the base paints from Citadel, I thin them with the X20A thinner, and it works swimmingly. I did have to put a little bit in with the Bad Moon Yellow, just a little bit. Okay, so there's that. Now, not a bad color yellow, but I wanted something deeper and richer. So, after I primed with the gray, I shot this with Squid Pink, which is a game color. You guys have seen me use this before on some other projects, and I went ahead and sprayed him with the Squid Pink. Now I could do darker, I could do even lighter, but I thought this would be a decent color to base with. Then I went over with that contrast paint, the Bad Moon Yellow, and this is the result I got. Now I'm going to put them side by side here so you can see the difference in the tone. So as you know by watching my other videos on the car build, particularly this last week, that I've been experimenting with some different color base coats in order to get different effects on my paint. And sure enough, I like this one. Nice, deep, and rich. For my Imperial Fist, this is going to be great. And I thought, well, I don't want my Lamenters to look exactly like my Imperial Fists, so I'm going to keep them looking like this. So they'll be the kind of a lighter, well, I don't want to say lighter, but definitely a brighter orange. I guess it's a lighter shade. But anyway, so I've got some other 3D prints here that I've done that will be painted up. This fist here, and then I have an Apothecary here, and then a GW Captain, and this Blood Angel that I think he just looks really cool. So I have a lot of little projects going on here, just having a lot of fun. Of course, that's what we're supposed to do, is have fun with our hobby. Now, for those bikes that I made, those speeder bikes that you saw a couple weeks ago, I went ahead and made these bases, these lava bases, because, well, those guys are going to wind up being salamanders, so I thought I'll put some of my salamanders on these lava bases. I printed a bunch of them, these for the bikes and then these for the figures, but of course there's a lot of painting I have to do, so that's kind of where things are at here on the, yeah, you can see my my wonderful palette here. You guys already know how I do it, so it's not clean and tidy like all these other miniature guys do. No, you get it the way I do it, which is very organic. So anyway, guys, that's this week's adventures in 40K with Maddog. Thank you for watching, and please, if you haven't checked this out before, please consider subscribing. Do this about every 2 weeks. The frequency may change just a little bit, but it's about every 2 weeks that I put out a piece revolving around my adventures in Warhammer painting. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you guys again real soon.